Our fat guy has a 64-inch waist and weighs over 20 stone. Our thin guy has a 21-inch waist and weighs just 6.5. Today's life-threatening situation is this. You're travelling by ship and the ship has gone down. You've bailed out and are waiting to be rescued. Who will stay afloat the longest? To simulate our shipwreck, we've given our two subjects inflatable lifeboats. When the klaxon sounds, the boats will deflate. And now for the test. To simulate the fact that they've been stranded at sea for days on end and no longer have any energy and barely the will to live, neither subject will be allowed to use their arms or legs to stay afloat. The subject that stays afloat the longest will be deemed the survivor. Our fat guy has absolutely no trouble in floating, and although it looks like our thin guy wouldn't even break the surface of the water, he has to use his legs to stay afloat. While he struggles, our fat guy has practically fallen asleep. Which means this time on Fat v Thin, it's better to be bloated
Yes!
than bony. On this Fat v Thin, we're going to find out if it's better to be under or overweight if caught in a blizzard. Our fat guy weighs 22 stone, and our thin guy just 6.5. Each subject has 4 pieces of paper attached to them. The subject that comes out of the blizzard with the least amount of moisture on the papers will be declared the winner. Our blizzard will last for 5 minutes and stop when the klaxon sounds. All the subjects have to protect themselves and their papers from the elements is a £3 umbrella. The thing that actually kills you in a blizzard is the clinging moisture and exposure to the elements. Wet clothing loses all its insulating properties and takes heat away from the body, resulting in hypothermia and certain death. Close inspection of the paper reveals the thin guy has emerged fairly unscathed. However, Fat Boy's paper has suffered severe damage. If he was in a real blizzard, he'd be chips. Frozen ones, and not fat-free.
Yeah!
Our experiment has shown that in a blizzard, it's better to be tiny than tubby. In this Fat v Thin, we're determining whether it's better to be mini or maxi if stuck in a heat wave. Our subjects are wearing thermals to enhance the effects of our 5 3-kilowatt heaters. The temperature in this room has broken the 35-degree mark, and they've been sitting here for nearly 25 minutes. Their temperature is being monitored by way of a digital thermometer, which is reading from the sensor stuck in their mouths. Our fat guy is feeling the heat the most. His body is producing perspiration in an attempt to cool itself down, while our thin guy seems to be quite comfortable. There are just seconds remaining in this experiment, but look at our thin guy's temperature start to rise. When the klaxon sounds, the experiment will be over, but it looks like our thin guy has completely lost his cool. This could be anybody's. And saved by the bell, it looks like our thin guy just squeezes in by 0.1 of a degree. So this week, it's better to be micro than macro.
Yay! Loser! Yay!
In this Fat v Thin, we're going to find out if it's better to be under or overweight in a Force 9 hurricane. Will it be the portly guy with the greater surface area that struggles, or will it be the puny guy with less?
Ah! Yeah!
Both subjects will have to walk along this line whilst being blasted by 2 industrial wind machines. The one that's blown off the line the most will be declared the loser. First up is our fat bloke. His first few steps are confident, but maybe too confident. Watch closely as his left foot steps briefly off the line. It's 1 point against him. The wind machines do their best, but it seems that they are no match for our fat guy's greater mass. And he completes the course with only 1 penalty point.
Yeah!
Now our skinny guy, can he make it to the end without being moved by the wind? Well, it's not off to a great start. After only 2 steps, he's struggling to stay upright. He has far less surface area for the wind to catch, but his 6.5 stone just isn't heavy enough. Our thin guy is really being battered by the wind and finishes the course with 5 penalty points. Which means in this fat v thin, it's better to be large than little. Is it better to be fat or thin at the North Pole? To find out, this experiment has been performed under strictly controlled conditions, with the temperature constantly maintained at freezing point. Before the start of this experiment, our 2 subjects had body temperatures of 36.9. The first person to drop 3 degrees and fall below 34 will be declared the loser. After 25 minutes of chilling out, our 6.5 stone thin guy is really starting to struggle, while our 22 stone fat guy has hardly felt a thing. Thin guy's puny body is frantically trying to raise its temperature by shivering. But it's too little too late, so in this fat v thin, it's better to be porky than puny. On this fat v thin, is it better to be an under or overweight victim of an earthquake? For this experiment, we've set up an earthquake simulation testing zone, complete with an earthquake simulator. To stop the subjects from using their arms for balance, they've been given a cup of tea to consume. First up, our 6.5 stone weakling. The clock will stop running when each subject has either had enough or fallen off. Whoever can stay on the simulator the longest will be declared the winner. Our thin guy managed a time of 42 seconds and had a maximum seismic experience of 49, which works out as about 6.2 on the Richter scale. Now our man Mountain, weighing in at 22 stone. A huge effort from our fat guy, maxing out with a seismic experience of 65. That's about 8.4 on the Richter scale and lasting for a time of 47 seconds. This time, on Fat v Thin, it's better to be weighty than weedy. Yeah!